Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Aquarian Mind podcast. Today's podcast, episode number 27. I'm your host, Jamel Crothers. It's Book Insight Friday, and today we're going to start discussing Code Blue: A Note to the Badge and Gun, Part 2. This is Part 2 of 5 books in this series, and I'm just going to jump right into it. Because the start of Code Blue Part 2 is hard-hitting, which is obviously what I love to do to, get readers drawn in and ready for the ride. And it's more a preparation of what's to come and the turmoil that, Gary ends up getting entrenched in while, obviously trying to maintain his sanity as a police officer. So it's a battle of the heart and mind along with wills. Now, Gary has a son, and, Gary Jr. is a very smart kid. And there was a reason why I wrote Gary Jr. a certain way. And, I made Gary Jr. very intuitive because I wanted Gary to look in the mirror at himself and realize that he has someone looking up to him. And that the news media broadcasts are showing what's going on in the streets. Now, the news is going to report what they're going to report. But, now Gary's work life is coming home with him. And now there's a price that he has to pay for it. So, there are consequences for choices and decisions that are made and also inaction when there are wrongdoings going on outside of Gary's home. Now, Gary's not only a police officer there to protect and serve his community, but he's also, supporting his family financially with the career that he currently has. Now, Gary loses his family, and now he's confined to a home of no one being there. Now he's lonely, and now he has really nothing to look forward to after his DOJ deposition, which is chronicled in Code Blue Part 2. So not only do I kind of really put it out there, but, I made Gary vulnerable in a lot of ways. And I had to bring that to light because this is the reality of, police officers that, are doing the right things, but they get caught up in a lot of corruption and lies and deceit and, falsified reports and racism and, prejudicial things, that go on in the world. So, while Gary, has to press on with his life and, go earn a paycheck, he has to live with the decisions that he does make every day by walking into an empty home and a bedroom that, he can no longer even sleep in because, well, he misses his wife. And this is, how I write it because these are potential realities of life and, decisions and things that go on, on a daily basis. So I had to write struggle in Gary's life in order to, make not only part 2 more important, but I also had to, write it to where there's, some truth into, how life is and how things can go. So there's an aspect of protagonist and antagonist, in this book and throughout the series, but, the antagonist aspect of it is how he's continuing to let all of this crazy stuff go on in front of his eyes every day. So it's you feeling bad for Gary, but then you're also angry and mad at him at the same damn time. Get it? Yeah. So there's, this feeling and emoting with Gary because you're saying to yourself, how is he allowing things to go on, but he's able to live his life pretty much, when he clocks out from work, right? So I have to get you thinking and feeling at, the same time, processing Gary's realities not only as a police officer, but as a man who was raised by parents who gave him morals and values. So now that comes to a head, and now you have to start saying, okay, well, what's more important, your paycheck or your morals and values in life? And that, applies to a lot of things in life, not just on the police force, or not just in a certain career path, whether you're a doctor or a lawyer or a CEO of a company or whatever the case is. So, my goal is to keep readers engaged and, in this book and also in this series, and to also wonder what's going to happen next. The only part that I don't like with writing, certain book series sometimes is that when I format my books, there's the whole chapter layout. So it's like you can gauge an idea of like how I'm going to write certain chapters based off the chapter names. So sometimes I wish like I didn't have to really like go through this whole like table of contents type of thing. But it's the way books are structured, and I get it and understand. But sometimes, I don't want to have a table of contents. I want it to be an element of surprise. So, to have a table of contents that says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to like 20, that kind of looks silly. So, yeah, I have to create chapter names. Anyway, Code Blue 2 is a crucial part of the series. It's important. The relationship with Gary and his son change. Wife files for divorce. Just a lot of things that happen. So I want you guys to understand that, I write these books to get you to emote and feel, and hopefully I accomplish that. So that's pretty much, the brief summary of Code Blue Part 2, and why I wrote it the way I did and what went into it. And, I don't enjoy like writing like certain things about like police corruption and things like that, but I feel that I have to expose as much as I can based off of, other people's experiences, life, seeing things for what they are. So I hope you guys take the time to, indulge yourself in this series and take the time to, jump into it and see where it takes you. So anyway, with that said, that's my podcast for today. I thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Hope you guys enjoy, the warmer weather wherever you're living. And if you do live in warm weather already, like me, well, count your blessings. So with that said, I'm gone. Be good, everyone, and go accomplish your goals.